And I'm going to read these out. Great comments coming through here. We got Wes Burns on IG saying, Brian Rose for Prime Minister, real talk. All right, thank you. I appreciate very much. Mayor is the plan right now. We got Range Rover Girl 7 on IG says, go Brian. Thank you very much. We've got Hubert Daniel on Instagram saying, love you, Brian. Grateful. Thank you very much. I'm grateful to you too as well. We got Joe Windsor 1970 on Instagram saying, Brian Rose for London Mayor. Thank you, sir. That is the plan. We plan on winning in 4 months' time, but we need your vote. Alaska Denali on YouTube says, Brian, thank you. I appreciate you. James Wilson on YouTube says, you legend, great work. Thank you, James. It's due to all the work that we're doing behind the scenes, so I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Born in the Wrong Country 27 on Instagram says, Brian for mayor. Thank you. Lisa Bennett on Instagram says, never mind running for London Mayor, Brian. We need you as Prime Minister. I appreciate the sentiment. Let's sort out London first. Great to London on Instagram says, Brian, London needs you. And I would agree with you. London needs me. And honestly, I owe London. I cannot sit by and watch this current crop of politicians run the city I love into the ground, and neither should you. So get registered to vote, and let's change that on May 6th. Couple other comments coming in here. Equinox95 on YouTube says simply, quote, get Sadiq Khan out. That's what he says. And honestly, I couldn't agree with you more. Every single person I meet on the streets says the same thing to me. They say, I don't like this guy. He lies to us. He passes the buck. He blames everyone else. We need to get him out. So let's get those votes and we can make it happen. I got Mixed Origin on Instagram says, quote, how they, which mean our politicians, failed us. How long do you have? And it's true. You know, it's really curious on how much longer we're going to give them until they can finally make a decision. You know, they seem to be bungling everything every 48 hours. And if you look at the track record, it's shocking. One day they say schools are open. The next day they say schools are closed. One day they say lockdown is ridiculous. This is our Prime Minister speaking to the Labour Party leader, Keir Starmer. Weeks later, he's locking our economy down. It's duplicitous and we should no longer accept it. And if you register to vote, you can be part of that decision. It's that simple. If you don't vote for me, I can't make these changes. So let's make it happen. We've got Kashin Service on IG saying the world needs to change. I agree. I think we're the voice for a lot of people that are feeling this all around the world. I've got Amberoni71 on Instagram saying, quote, lockdown is worse than the virus. I couldn't agree more. J Jones PT on Instagram says, quote, as much as I hate being in lockdown, I own 5 gyms in London, but we have no voice. I'm so angry. And Jay, I'm glad you brought that up. And our good friend Nick Whitcomb is up in Merseyside near Liverpool, and he has been the one fighting to keep gyms open. And I want to mention him later on in this broadcast. Finally, a few other comments coming through here, and please leave me your comments on these platforms. I got Nishi Psychologist on Instagram says, quote, people are mentally stuck. I couldn't agree more, and I want to talk about that right now. Ant's Pet on Instagram says, quote, a friend of mine has taken his life because of the situation. The poor man just couldn't cope. And I'm really sorry to hear that, Ant. It's really hard to look at these suicide statistics that I'm going to share with you because these are real people that could have been saved if we didn't make these terrible decisions. So let's change this. Let's honor his life by making these changes. And I appreciate you, and I'm sorry for your loss. We've got Ark Iron on Everlifter on Instagram says, quote, my mental health has definitely suffered. My alcohol consumption has gone up and I'm trying to cut down, but it's getting harder. And Ark, I appreciate your honesty. I really do. I struggled with alcohol for a long part of my life. I was fortunate enough to really kick it about 3 years ago. But I know if I hadn't of, this time would have really challenged me. I know it would have. And also, if I didn't have a purpose right now to really lead this city in a new direction, I would have been really struggling with this right now. I appreciate your honesty. I know a lot of us are struggling with substances, with depression, with anxiety. I appreciate you being honest, and let's find some solutions. I think that's really important. Finally, we've got Avis on Instagram saying, quote, I've never suffered from mental health, but recently I cannot cope with life. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to. And I think you said it right there. That's the essence of mental health, not having the tools to solve your problems.